This is one of my favorite biological concepts, the concept of a species and what makes a species. Now, it's very faulty, but it's still one of those definitions that I kind of drag into my brain, and I want you guys to be practicing it. It's kind of like that definition of osmosis. It's something we just have to keep practicing, and you'll get there eventually. And what classifies species as being a species? So I'm just focusing on the word species, and then we're going to go through the process of allopatric speciation. So we're on the bottom of page 9 in your notes. And so this is your definition. So a species is a population or a group of populations. So for example, there are humans here and there are humans in other countries. But these two words are the big ones, yeah? There must be that they can interbreed and they must be able to produce fertile offspring. So you'll see in various scenarios that some people will talk about, sorry guys, it's just being a bit funny. Oh, I'm probably giving you a headache. Just let me pause and I'll see if I can fix it. There we go. So this word interbreed, and they must be able to produce fertile offspring. Now, sometimes you see the word viable, and what does that mean? So viability just means that they can survive. Now that is important that they can survive, but it's also inferred in the word fertile. Fertile means can have babies. So coming back right to the beginning of this booklet, you wrote down a definition for species there. Interbreed means make offspring. Yeah, together. So two individuals can make offspring together. But then they can have babies as well. That is the definition of species. So members of a species that are unable to do those two things, if they can have offspring but they're not fertile, then therefore they are not the same species. We classify them as two different species. There are examples where that happens, and that's what we call a hybrid. So a hybrid is where you get crossbreeding between two different very similar species. They have a baby, but that baby is reproductively sterile. So best example for that is this guy here, the mule. And this is part of the genetic reason why it's sterile. You can see here that a horse actually has a 2N, which means it has a normal diploid number of chromosomes is 64. Yeah, whereas a donkey has 62. So when they breed together, they actually make a mule, and that mule has an odd number of chromosomes. And that's a surefire way to make yourself infertile, is to have an odd number of chromosomes. So here is an example of what we talk about with hybrids. It is quite confusing here, but you've got species 1 and species 2 make a hybrid. Then you breed two hybrids together. If any of these cases are the case, so they produce offspring but they're infertile, or they can't produce offspring at all, then that's how we know they are two different species. But if their hybrid offspring make a fertile or viable offspring, so this is now the second generation down, we can say that they are the same species. And so that's kind of a bit of a definition of that. And if we're lucky in class, I might play a little bit of a hybrid game with you.